I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Donald Trump has been demanding that MAGA Republicans in the state legislature of Georgia remove Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis from being a prosecutor, specifically because she is prosecuting Donald Trump in the sprawling RICO case. Donald Trump is demanding that these legislators, MAGA Republican identifying legislators, demand a special session be called to remove Fani Willis, or alternatively to utilize the recently created prosecutorial commission under a bill that became a law in May called SB 92, signed into law by Kemp, to remove Fani Willis. And you've had some very dangerous MAGA Republicans like Georgia MAGA Republican State Senator Fulton calling for the removal of Fani Willis and using apocalyptic terms. I'll show you that in a little bit. But fortunately, the Republican governor of Georgia, Kemp, who, by the way, I disagree with on most things, and I still think that his view that he would still vote for Trump is beyond bizarre and cowardly, given that he views Donald Trump as someone trying to overthrow our democracy. But I'll do a separate video on that. But to his credit, Republican governor of Georgia, Kemp, gave a press conference where he discussed that this is very similar to what was occurring in 2020 when people like Donald Trump and other kind of self-promoting grifters tried to overthrow our democracy by engaging in the same types of schemes we see right now. And Kemp, again, Republican governor of Georgia, says that number one, he's not calling a special session. And number two, he sees no reason why this newly created prosecutorial commission should investigate Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis. He does mention that after he's appointed this commission, which he has, and the commission starts officially, I think, in October of 2023, he can't dictate what they can do, but he appointed the members of the commission. It's an 8-person panel, 3 who are ultimately adjudicators and 5 who are investigators. But he appointed them. So he's saying, look, I'm not telling them what to do, but I don't think that they should be investigating Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis. I thought that was a powerful statement that he made. I want you to watch this full clip by him, because every word that he says here, I think actually, to his credit, is powerful and important. So let's play this clip.
I did want to take just a few minutes to speak to some history that's trying to repeat itself over the last few days here in Georgia. Many of you will recall that in the final weeks of 2020, I clearly and repeatedly said that I would not be calling a special session of the General Assembly to overturn the 2020 election results, because such an action would have been unconstitutional. It was that simple. Fast forward today, nearly 3 years later, memories are fading fast. There have been calls by one individual in the General Assembly and echoed outside of these walls by the former president for a special session that would ignore current Georgia law and directly interfere with the proceedings of a separate but equal branch of government. Up to this point, I have not seen any evidence that D.A. Willis's actions or lack thereof warrant action by the Prosecuting Attorney Oversight Commission. But that will ultimately be a decision that the commission will make. Regardless, in my mind, a special session of the General Assembly to end run around this law is not feasible and may ultimately prove to be unconstitutional. The bottom line is that in the state of Georgia, as long as I'm governor, we're going to follow the law and the Constitution, regardless of who it helps or harms politically. Over the last few years, some inside and outside of this building may have forgotten that, but I can assure you, I have not. The oath I took with my hand on the Bible that's right behind me in January of 23 is the same Bible that I took in my inauguration in 2019. And in Georgia, we will not be engaging in political theater that only inflames the emotions of the moment. We will do what is right. We will uphold our oaths as public servants. And it's my belief that our state will be better off for it.
So who is Brian Kemp, Governor Kemp, Republican, talking about here? He's talking about a number of MAGA Republicans in the Georgia legislature, but specifically MAGA Georgia State Senator Fulton Moore, who's also a representative from Marjorie Taylor Greene's district area as a state senator. She's, of course, a member of Congress. And here in this video, he suggests that actually civil war is something that is on the table if Donald Trump is forced to go to trial. Horrific stuff right here. Here, play this clip.
My goodness, how many people in my district questioned that election? I mean, and now that we've got 19 people who are facing the rest of their life in prison because they spoke out against an election. I mean, you know, I told one senator, I said, listen, I said, we've got to put our heads together and figure this out. We need to be taking action right now, because if we don't, our constituencies are going to be fighting it in the streets. Do you want a civil war? I don't want a civil war. I don't want to have to draw my rifle. I want to make this problem go away with my legislative means of doing so. And the first step to getting that done is defunding Fani Willis of any Georgia tax dollars. And hopefully Representative Jordan and Representative Biggs will follow suit in Congress and strip her of her federal dollars too, because she is not upholding her oath to the Constitution.
And now let's take a quick break to talk about our next partner, Fume. Cold turkey, it may be great on sandwiches, but there's a better way to break your bad habits. We're not talking about some weird mind voodoo from your wacky neighbor or some sketchy message board. We're talking about our sponsor, Fume, and they look at the problem in a different way. Now, not everything in a bad habit is wrong. So instead of drastic, uncomfortable change, why not just remove the bad from your habit? Fume is an innovative, award-nominated device that does just that. Instead of electronics, Fume is completely natural. Instead of vapor, Fume uses flavored air. And instead of harmful chemicals, Fume uses all natural, delicious flavors. You get it. Instead of bad, Fume is good. It's a habit you're free to enjoy and makes replacing your bad habit easy. Your Fume comes with an adjustable airflow dial and is designed with movable parts and magnets for fidgeting, giving your fingers a lot to do, which is helpful for de-stressing and anxiety while breaking your habit. The first time I used Fume, I was shocked at how flavorful and fresh it tasted. Now, it's easy to hold and perfectly balanced and quite honestly, extremely fun to fidget with. The real wood material and sleek design definitely classes it up, and I feel pretty darn cool holding it. Stopping is something we all put off because it's hard, but switching to Fume is easy, enjoyable, and even fun. Fume has served over 100,000 customers and has thousands of success stories, and there's no reason that can't be you. Join Fume in accelerating humanity's breakup from destructive habits by picking up the Journey Pack today. Head to tryfume.com and use code Meidas to save 10% off when you get the Journey Pack today. That's tryfum.com and use code Meidas to save an additional 10% off your order today.
And then you have Donald Trump praising this extremist who had really offensive ideas right there, really destructive ideas that should obviously not be espoused by anyone, especially a legislature. And here, State Senator Fulton Moore is bragging, saying, Donald Trump is with me. He knows that my call for an emergency session to defund, blah, 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 blah. And then he plays this clip of Trump. Here, play this clip.
Highly respected Georgia State Senator Fulton Moore deserves thanks and congratulations of everyone for having the courage and conviction to fight the radical left lunatics who are so badly hurting the great state of Georgia and, frankly, the USA itself. Failed DA Fani Willis, who has allowed Atlanta and Fulton County to become a record-setting murder and violent crime war zone with almost no retribution for those murderers, shockingly indicted your favorite president, me, for a perfect phone call. She is very bad for America. She is very bad for Georgia. And the bottom line is we're going to win. We're going to turn our country around. I want to thank the great people of Georgia for putting up with this crap. Thank you very much.
And that also is being echoed by Marjorie Taylor Greene. So here's a clip of Marjorie Taylor Greene. Play it.
May I ask you, Congressman, there's some rumors or some talk, some chatter to impeach Fani Willis. Now, the way I believe it would have to happen is your governor would have to agree to it and go forward with that. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, the state senator, that's actually from my district, Colton Moore. He wants to introduce impeachment articles on Fani Willis. But I've been talking to people in the state legislature and talking in our state. That really is not going to work. First of all, they need to call back a special session, and that would require Governor Kemp to do that. And he's already said he will not do that. Yeah. And then it would require to have the votes necessary to get it done. But what they are planning to do is starting October 1st, there is going to be a special, basically like a committee set up that provides oversight into state DAs. And they're going to be launching an oversight investigation into Fani Willis. And so I'm hoping something can be done. I can't imagine that there isn't a way to stop her abusing her office and power as the Fulton County DA.
Well, I hope you keep us informed because it's really good having you on my...
I played this clip before. I'll play it again because I think it's powerful. This is the Republican governor of New Hampshire, Chris Sununu, who is very critical of Trump as well. Again, I disagree with Sununu, like I disagree with Kemp on a lot of issues, like I disagree with former governor of New Jersey and candidate for the Republican nomination, Chris Christie, and many others. But fundamentally, when it comes to these issues that are so critical to our democracy, as our democracy hangs by a thread, I think it's important to show you what these Republican governors are saying, or former governors are saying. But this is Republican governor of New Hampshire, Chris Sununu, and here he's saying that independents hate Trump and that Trump's going to lose in 2024 because independents are repulsed by him. Here, play this clip.
The other event this week that I don't think anybody can characterize as good for Trump is getting his mugshot taken and released in a Fulton County courthouse.
They'll be selling T-shirts within minutes of it being taken.
That may be true, but do you think that it's good for him politically? Do you think having a mugshot out there changes anything in the Republican electorate?
It doesn't change anything, but it allows him to maintain his presence in the media, his image. People will be talking about it. Not just what he does with the mugshot, but all the drama that he wants to keep building off of it. He wants this drama to keep going. Give him a 5th and 6th indictment. He'll love it because it keeps him in the news. What about with
independents? I mean, New Hampshire, live free or die.
He doesn't care. All he cares about right now is getting the nomination. He can't win in November. Independents hate it. There's no way Donald Trump will win anything above 31% of the independents, which is why Republicans as a whole will get crushed if he's on. Look, as bad as he would be as being on top of the ticket because we'll lose the presidency, he hurts school board races. He hurts governorships, Congress races, congressional races, Senate races. We will lose all these seats like we did in 22.
I think we're seeing more and more of this. And I think that having Republicans who can actually grow a spine to call out Donald Trump is, and again, Kemp is still, I think, I hate to say it, but spineless in the sense that he'd still vote for Trump. I don't even know how that's possible. But these are steps in the right direction of calling him out, and Kemp saying, I don't think it's appropriate to call a special session or utilize the prosecutorial commission for this purpose. Go to MeidasTouch.com for breaking news. That's MeidasTouch.com. Wherever you get audio podcasts, subscribe to the MeidasTouch podcast and have a great day.
Hey, Meidas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.